Well, I appreciate my friend from Florida. Those were very well-received comments. And I'd also like to just mention, the speaker, Mr. Palmer from Alabama, who's serving there. We were discussing before he had to go up and serve in that duty that, and I think it was a good point, if this were a private business and the private business had behaved this way in the face of the IRS, I mean, the CEO would have been fired, because it just would have been absolute hell for the company. And that is one reason why the American people are so frustrated with government. There are different standards that apply for people in Washington versus the rest of the American people and the taxpayers. And that is just totally intolerable in a small R Republican form of government. And I'll make one other point that I think sometimes gets lost. When you start talking about what are impeachable offenses, people tend to think of it in terms of criminal offenses. And while there are criminal offenses that would qualify as impeachable offenses, the two are not mutually exclusive. And in fact, the founders believed that the real reason you needed impeachment was for things that may not necessarily be criminal, but that were breaches of the public trust. And Joseph Story, the Supreme Court Justice, he noted that impeachable offenses are, quote, aptly termed political offenses growing out of personal misconduct or gross neglect or usurpation or habitual disregard for the public interest. They must, he said, be examined upon very broad and comprehensive principles of public policy and duty. And I think that that's tailor-made for this instance. I mean, some of the false statements, maybe those do violate statutes. They very well may, but we don't even have to get into that. We can simply say, has he shown a disregard for the public interest? Has he been even grossly negligent? Would be actionable. And I think that's clearly the case here. So I echo my friend from Florida that said, we need to get the dust off the impeachment resolutions. We need to get it up on judiciary, pass it out, and then let's let the House make a decision about whether this is valid or not. And some people say, oh, well, the Senate may not want to do it. They'll have to defend their votes then, and that's fine with me. I think most Americans want the IRS to live at least under the same standard they do. I think it should be a higher standard given all the power that they have. But I appreciate my colleagues for coming and discussing this issue. The articles have not been brought up, but we are not forgetting. Many of our constituents are not forgetting. And really, the time to act is now. And if we don't, then this is absolutely true. The IRS will have gotten away with everything. That is unacceptable. And I yield back the balance of my time.